So let's take a closer look of our vineyard here at Villa Ortaglia. First of all, the location here. We are in Montepulciano, and the exposure of this vineyard is top-notch. That's the sun over here. We are perfectly east-west exposed. The sun rises that way. This vineyard gets the sun all day long and set exactly over there. So an amazing exposure all day long. Come here this way and then hit that way. Perfect. The slope, it's typical Tuscan hill. It's steep, but it's not as steep as you can see in Piedmont, for example, or even in Marche region, for example. And here in Montepulciano we are quite high elevation. We are above 1200 feet, 1300 feet, 1400 feet above sea level. This is very important because ensure a great excursion of temperature between day and night. If you click in the different wineries and in my different description, you'll notice that I always repeat this because the excursion of temperature is crucial for the acidity, for the structure, the backbone of the wine you're gonna get. You want the wine to be still and firm. The soil. Here in this part of Tuscany, the soil is we call medio impasto, mid-mix. What does it mean? There is a good proportion of stones and clay. Very a lot of clay in the composition and limestone. If we go more north in the Chianti area, you see that the color of the soil gets darker and more red because there is more iron. Here we have more limestone than iron and a lot of shell. We can actually take a walk here in my vineyard and we might find fossils of 1-2 million year old clams and oysters. They're everywhere. As soon as we plow, they come up. And because Italy is quite recent for geological formation, so beautiful, and it gets very hard when it's dry. We keep, as you can see, plow, but if you notice, one row is plow, the other row is not. So one is grass, one is plow, one is grass. Why? In springtime we actually alternate in each, like one row, and we skip the other one. We put weed. Sometimes we put soy, sometimes we put like regular wheat, because at that time of the year when there is rain a lot, they will grow, they will absorb a lot of nutrition and a lot of water out of the soil, and they will go in competition with the vine. Stressed vine gives good wine, so we want the vine to be stressed to the right limit, so it feels that it needs to struggle and dig the root deeper down to get all the nutrition where all the flavors of the soil are. Then around May we come, and we cannot harvest the weed because there is no machine capable, so narrow, so we just plow them, cut them, mulch them down, so we bring the natural nitrogen back into the soil. So no chemicals, no fertilization, it's like natural fertilization. Let's take a closer look to the vine, to the Sangiovese Grosso here. Look how low my vine are on the floor. The Corvina up in Verona are much taller. This one are much shorter because it gets very cold here at night. So I really want my Sangiovese to be very short, so it gets the heat at night from the ground. In winter time here we get 1 foot of snow. People think that Tuscany is always sunshine, and winter very cold. This one is a cordone speronato trading system. What is the cordone speronato? The cordone means the rope, because if you look at an old vine, actually in the mentality of the people in the Middle Age, look really like a rope. So means sperone is the hook, is the hooked rope, because this one is your rope that goes up, and then every year we're gonna cut this branch here, which is, it's difficult to see now because it's all green and alive, but if you come in wintertime there are no more leaves, it's much easier to be understood. So you can see that the rope ends here, and then this is the fresh branch, and then the fresh branch is the one that we produce the grape. In December we'll cut it, and we use the new one here, bend it for the next year. As I said, Sangiovese Grosso, the big... Oh, this one is beautiful. It's an upside down pyramid. There are no... the wings are very, very small. You can barely see them. Very tight. So once again, and you heard me say that before, it's very important that the environment is very dry. Because in a tight cluster like that, if you get wet, if you get humidity, the humidity stick inside and rotten my cluster. So it's very important that the soil is dry. It's very important that the exposure brings the nice wind in and out. We will be back here tonight. As soon as the sun sets, the wind comes up. In our villa we put a swimming pool. I was never able to do a midnight swim because as soon as the sun sets, the wind blows and gets chilly. So perfect environment for the grape. Very little, tiny and lovely. My juice here is beautiful, but look how little juice and look how much skin. We are about 3 weeks to harvest. It's already sweet, amazing vintage. Look at this one, how smaller it is, very small. So it looks like the vine has a lot of clusters, but as a matter of fact, there are not many pounds here. The last thing that I want to show you, going back here, is this is an high density vineyard. What does it mean, high density vineyard? We don't want 100 vine to produce a ton of grape. We want 1,000 vine producing a pound to get that ton. I don't know if I got the conversion right because mine is my metric system and I don't understand your system, but I hope you get the concept. So as you can see here, we put 2 vines together. By doing this, the vine goes in competition harder and they fight to get lower and lower to get the nutrition, and the nutrition brings all the flavors. So instead of putting 1 vine here, 1 here and 1 there, we put 2, 2 and 2. So we have about, here in this vineyard, we have about 4,500 vine tree per hectare. So about 2.2 thousand per acre, 2.3. Again, the conversion is what it is. But I also would like to take you to my olive field because one of our field of expertise is olive oil. So I really would like to show you my olive trees, because if you click on Marchesi Viscardo, you see the olive trees that we grow up in Verona, but we make olive oil also here in Tuscany. So let's take a look and climb up to the olive trees.